Hi students, in the last class we seen motion lesson and there are some sums also we are discussed, but today we are going to discuss about laws of motion. It's continuous chapter from motion lesson and it is also related to motion. So what are the topics we have completed from the motion lesson? The topics again reappeared here. So see, in the last lesson, just recall what we are discussing in the last lesson, like velocity, acceleration, deacceleration, displacement. These quantities are we learned completely in last class. But what are motion laws here? Laws of motion. Motion laws, very famous. Maybe you heard about Isaac Newton. He's a very famous scientist in physics. Even in presently our technology, what is the technology nowadays we are using, like in a rocket science or a quantum physics. In these all those aspects, these laws of motion or Newton laws are acting a crucial role. Acting about a crucial role. Even flight, rocket, all those things are work based on laws of motion. I mean nothing but Newton laws only, and that's what most important chapter to us. So most important chapter to us, and it's also like how motion lesson is. It's a day-to-day experiences we are having from that motion equation. Nothing we are learn new. So there is no learn nothing new. So why? Because the all aspects are very familiar to us. A car is moving on the road. When applying brakes, car having deacceleration. When we are increasing speed, and that time the car having acceleration. So like these are the very familiar words to us, understand? But this lesson also like motion lesson only, but we are going to upgrade more. We are learning more topics from the continuation of motion. So after completion of these laws of motion, and we are having more one chapter in this class, that is gravitation. So these three are what related. If you know motion laws are very easy. If you know the motion and motion laws, gravitation is easy. So, but most of the people can think, okay, this is a mathematical abbreviations are there completely. So maybe it is difficult to solve. I mean, it's complex to understand. So you don't keep such things in your brain. It's a very easy chapter. So not mathematics. Mathematics is quite different. This is quite different. These are application nothing, but it's our day-to-day experience. Rocket is day-to-day experience. Aeroplane is a day-to-day experience. These are day-to-day experience. How aeroplane works? In what principle aeroplane is moving, and what principle rocket is moving, and what principle you are standing, in what principle bus is moving. So these are very interesting to learn. So very interesting. Why? Because we don't know how they are working here. But if you know a little bit about these chapters, you will get some idea on that. Okay, it is working based on this. Understand? It's just knowledge. It's just a knowledge. There is no complexive things to learn, like in a different way, like complex. Most of the people can think physics is a complexive thing. It's not a complexive thing. Very easy. Try to understand. So okay, come to our session here. In the last class we seen like acceleration and velocity. So okay, completion of that. So our philosophers, our ancient scientists, they were trying to learn more about this. But their doubt is, so they're having some kind of doubts over there. The doubts are always popping their brains. So that is what they try to given. They try to given many contributions, like many theories to us. So in that many philosophers, not exactly some people, many are there. In that some people those are famous, those are given a correct abbreviations related to that. So that names only we are going to learn from this lesson. So here, what is a doubt? That the doubt is challenging them. So which doubt is challenging them here? What is a natural state of object? What is a natural state of object? That doubt is always pop up there. So here for finding a correct answer, so they try to given many things. In that some are what satisfied, some are not. Some are maybe just like okay, not bad, not good. Like so these contributions. What are the contributions are given by them? regarding what is a state of, what is a natural state of object. For example, what is the state of this chalk piece? State of chalk piece is, I am not talking about matter states here. Which state it is, it's a solid state or liquid state. I am not talking about state here. The meaning, state meaning is it in motion or rest? This is our doubt. Actually, most of the people are having this doubt. If you have a free time to think about this, so how celestial bodies are formed over the space? What is space? So how they hang over that, how the forces are acting between that. So these are the many doubts. It's always unsolvable. It's a puzzle type things to us. So okay, here this is also one of the puzzle to us. Why? Because what is the state of object? What is the original state or what is the natural state of object? Here some scientists are given their conclusions, but in that famous, some are which persons are given the approximately correct reasons. So in that, one of the person is Aristotle. The famous person was Aristotle. This Aristotle is believed the state of object is always rest. Why? Because according to some laws, every motion object will come to rest. So for that he was given many examples. So okay, one ball is rolled over the floor. So the ball is moving certain speed or a certain distance, certain speed with certain speed and covered some distance. And finally the ball speed gradually decreases or increases. So ball speed going to decreases and finally ball going to rest. Going to stop, restage. So apart from that, his conclusion is every object natural state is rest. Every object natural state is rest. So does it correct? Every object natural state is rest. Okay, our doubt is, according to our knowledge, we will guess, okay, what is the state of sun? Sun is always in motion, approximately from 5 billion years ago. From 5 billion years onwards, it was in motion. Even space also in motion. Many planets also in motion. But their original state is, how rest is, it's not rest, no. They are in motion, no. Earth is in motion, it's taking self-rotation along with rotation, revolution around the sun. Is it moving or not? Moving definitely. Earth having some velocity, Earth having speed, Earth having acceleration. All those quantities, which quantities we learned in motion lesson, that all quantities are acting on Earth. So okay, now tell me, presently I am in rest stage. I am standing like. So I am not moving anywhere here. But I am on Earth. So I just stand on Earth. So Earth is taking revolutions. Earth is in motion. So simultaneously I am also what? In motion. So apart from that, how Aristotle's statement is correct? How Aristotle's statement is correct? What is the natural state of object? What is the Aristotle conclusion? What is the Aristotle conclusion? Rest. Object state is rest. Final state is rest. Any object, any motion object will come to rest. So according to Aristotle, that statement also correct. Even just now I given some examples now, like our solar system, sun, from 5 billion years onwards he is in motion. But after completion of more 5 billion years, the sun motion going to stop. Like what is the age of sun? Sun age is 10 billion years. Sun age is 10 billion years. In that 10 billion years, 5 billion years are completed. More 5 billion years. After completion of more 5 billion years, the state of sun going to change maybe. It was going to black hole. Turns the death point, nothing but. So every object having some endpoint in the universe, even Earth also having some endpoint. You know, Earth age is 4.6 billion years. Earth age is 4.6 billion years. Sun age is 5 billion years. So if Sun is not working, maybe Sun is going to die. Sun is turns as black hole. What about remaining planets in our solar system? They are also going to in that only, you know. So at that time, system is going to rest or they are taking motion continuously. So these are the questions against arose in our mind. But what is the original state of object? Is motion or rest? Still we are not decided. So what is state of motion is rest or motion. So here Aristotle's statement is rest. Okay, fine. So we somewhat agreed here. Somewhat we agreed. So next, after this Aristotle statement, a new scientist came here. That scientist name is Galileo. Galileo Galilei. So you know, telescope constructor. So you know very well about him. Galileo is one of the famous one of the famous personality in physics, one of the famous personality in physics, and given many contributions in different theories, even light theory, so even motion, and many theories are contributed by the Galileo, and that's what one of the famous and remarkable personality in our history. So see here, Galileo is not accepted. So what Aristotle said, that was wrong. And whose statement is that? Galileo's statement. Galileo is not agreed with this. But what is the original state of matter? Okay, Aristotle was wrong. So tell me what is the proper answer for that? What is the natural state of object? So he is just defined that the state of any object, any object natural state is motion, uniform motion. The natural state of any object, the natural state of any object in uniform motion. How uniform motion? For example, if I throw the shark, does it allow uniform motion? Okay, a car moving on the road, does it allow uniform motion? So tell me, is correct or not? Galileo is correct. So the natural state of any object in uniform motion. According to Aristotle, object state is rest. It's not agreed, not rest. The object natural state is uniform motion. So okay, believe the object state is a natural state. Example, Earth taking equal rotations in equal intervals of time. Is it right? Is it uniform motion? Sure, it's uniform motion. Next, Earth complete one revolution, approximately it consumes 23 hours 56 minutes and something. So approximately 24 hours. It's taking 24 hours to completing one rotation itself. Is it going to change? No, that one also what a proper. But when we are talking about celestial bodies, the statement is correct. So now tell me, the object state may be in a uniform motion. Why not bike is maintaining uniform motion? Why that bus is not maintaining uniform motion? They are not uniform motions. Even any vehicle on earth doesn't maintain uniform motion. It is not possible. So tell me, Galileo is correct or not? So further he was given some activities to us to understanding these concepts. Why he was used the object state is uniform motion. Eventually, this person also correct and this person also correct. See here, to giving a best answer, to require a best answer, you looking for the best. So the best things starts from the water little bits, like here you are making some theory here. That theories at a time is not possible to understand everything. Example, our cosmologists, our astronauts are observing and understanding space, how space is formed, So still we are sending some satellites into space to observing what happening over there. We are exploring Mars and we are exploring Moon. So the journey is continuing from the water some years ago. Some years ago onward, the journey is continuing. So officially in the year of 1969, the person is stamped on Moon. From onwards, from 1969 to up to 2020, we are exploring space. Does you know completely about space? No, it is not possible. Why? Because that is a huge theory to understand. We are just humans, our lifespan is very small. So it is not, at a time it is not completed. So the theory is built step by step. And that is what, if maybe the theories are wrong, why they are mentioned in textbook? Somewhat correct, the theories are correct. They are given some idea to understand what is it. If maybe these two things are maybe not there, they are not mentioned in textbook, how can you understand what is the natural state of motion? Clear, the theory is developed step by step. The step by step means scientist by scientist. So one scientist is given one contribution and next scientist will come and understand what the contribution is given by the another scientist. He can filtrate the what are the difficulties from, and he can continue the theory into next level. Understand? So that's what, both are correct. In my way, the both are correct. But little bit change is there, but both are correct. What the imagination of them, that is awesome. So let's say about Galileo. So presently you are not believing in Galileo. Why? Because every object is maintaining uniform motion according to Galileo. That was absolutely wrong. According to us, it's wrong. But according to Galileo, according to me, that was correct. So, but here small exceptions are there. So, small exceptions. With that exceptions, Galileo theory is correct. Let me show you that. He did some activities on inclinal planes. In last class also I just mentioned, Galileo was done some experimentations on inclinal plane when we are seeing that experiment in last class by using pipes. You know, do you remember that? So same pattern here also. He was done some experimentations by using of inclined planes. So in that he observed one thing. See here. Next, say this figure number 1. So look at first figure number 1. So now just he dropped. Now he just dropped one ball from the water h1 height. From the h1 height, he is just rolling one ball. The ball is rolled down. The ball is rolled down to the surface with the help of the attraction of the force of gravity. Because of force of gravity, it is coming down. So it is reaches to downward. I mean roll it to downward. And continues the journey into inclinal plane. What is the plane here? I mean until it is reaches to this height. Say that height is h2. Due to gravity, it's rolled down and reached to h2 height. From h1 height, he just dropped that. It rolled down. Due to gravity, it reaches to this much of height. Slope. From slope, it's covered, and it is covered the what that slope also. Next slope also. So, but when it is moving down, that thing is called, just understand here, when it is moving down, is it uniform or not? Uniform motion or not? Yesterday what we did? Yesterday what we did on the inclined planes, the motion of an object, is it uniform or not? Sure, it is a uniform. And next second confirmation is, due to gravity it is due to gravitational force, it is pulling down and reaching the what? H2 height. Here both heights are equal. What is the height from which height you are roll the ball and the ball is reaches same height. Okay, this is our first observation. It reaches same height. In second one, second slope is arranged with the same height, but angle is changed here. So here the angle was different compared to first diagram. Second diagram angle is quite different. So here the angle is changed from the first diagram, but heights are same. Same concept here. Again the ball is rolled down from the H1 height. It reaches H2 height. It reaches H2 height. So what is our conclusion from the second diagram? First diagram is started from H1 and reaches to H2. Same height, both are same heights. So what about second one? Here also H1 equals to H2. H1 equals to H2. But angle changed. That angle changed due to its increases path. Here the path, both paths are similar. Say example 1 meter, 1 meter. But here this path is 1 meter and this path is 1.5 meter. Do you got the difference here? So reaches same height but covers more distance. Covered more distance. And go to the third one. So now there is no slope here. So only one slope. From here maybe the ball is rolled down and reaches to ground due to gravity and it is continuously moves. Maybe there is no additional forces acting on that. The point is very important. If there is no additional force are acting on that, the ball continues the journey. Okay, it is covered some x distance here. It's covered some x distance. Now tell me in these three positions, in three diagrams, what we concluded. So in the first one is okay, it's covered equal distance, equal height. Second one is equal height but larger distance. There is no height here, but distance is more. So from these three diagrams we conclude one thing. So overall we conclude one thing. If there is, just imagine, if there is no external force acting in the world, there is no forces are acting in the world. Just imagine like that. Understand? You know that friction very well. Okay, the ball is continuously moving on the floor. But the ball is continuously moving on the floor. Up to what distance it is continuous? If there is no friction force between ball and the floor, there is no friction force between ball and floor, the ball continues their journey. But unfortunately, our world we can't imagine without forces. We can't imagine world without forces. Why? Because we are living in forced world. I mean nothing but different types of forces acting in the world. So here friction is acting between them, and that's what ball covers some x distance and come to rest. So what is the Galileo's observation is, if there is no additional forces acting on an object when object is in motion, the object state is continuously in motion. It's a uniform motion. Just imagine these three diagrams. If there is no forces, no frictional force, no additional force, I am not mentioned in the particular force here, there is no forces are acting here. There is no force are acting here. Now tell me the ball will come to rest or their continuous journey. For giving you a small example to understanding better, this chalk piece, if I am thrown into air, on the chalk piece some different forces should be acting. See here. From here I have thrown some stone into the air. When it is moving with my muscular force, reaches a maximum height. In this case, when it is moving, some forces acting opposite toward. So what type of force? Fluid friction. Here on this object, fluid friction also acts. At the same time, gravity also acts here. If there is no fluid friction, if there is no gravity, what happens? There is no fluid friction, there is no gravity. What happens to that object? The object never come to rest. The object continuously moves with uniform motion. Got it? And that's what I said. Galileo is correct. But Galileo's concept is not possible. Why not? Because forceless world is, it is not possible to imagine. So, say example from space. Let's take example from space. If an object may be in a motion in the space, the object continuously takes the water motion. Why? Because there is no forces acting in the space. So that's what that always the celestial bodies are in motion. But on Earth, it is not possible. Earth has a gravity. Friction is acting, some additional force are acting. We are discussed about these forces from 8th class. So different types of force are acting on Earth. It is not possible to imagine. So forceless world. So imagination of forceless world is not possible. That's what Galileo was correct, but this concept is not possible here. This concept is not possible here. Okay, after completion of these two persons, more one person is there, and he is concluded a properly what is the state of natural, what is the state of natural object, natural state of object here. So from Aristotle, Galileo, we concluded something. Next class, we see what the new person, that is nothing but Isaac Newton. Who is that person? Isaac Newton. Given a proper theory to us, let's discuss about Isaac Newton theories and laws of motions in next class. Okay? Thank you.